Alright, Shalom Israel, the brother Baka La Walam. I'm here with a hopeful, edifying video for the body of YAHAWAHSHI. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders that I learned this truth from, the men of GMS, and the brethren with the like-minded doctrine. And Shalom to the Akim and to the Aqua. I got a video here. The televangelist, you know, Billy Graham, so-called evangelist. The title says, "There is no white Jesus," So I'm gonna let the video play a bit, and probably gonna break it down because there's a couple key points in the video that I want to break down according to the word. But yeah, I'm gonna let the video play.
Then look at the death he died. Did ever a man die like Jesus? The lightning flashed and the thunder roared and the earth began to shake. And even the soldiers confessed that this must be the Son of God. Anyone that can see Jesus on that cross and not be touched has a heart of stone. They first took off his clothes. Then they took long leather thongs with steel pellets or lead pellets on the end and beat him across the back until he could hardly stand up. Then they put a crown of thorns on his brow and his face was bleeding. And they laughed at him and they spit on him and they mocked him. And with one snap of his finger, 72,000 angels had already drawn their swords ready to come to his rescue and wipe this planet out of existence in the universe. And Jesus said, "No, to this end was I born." And he dragged and lifted and hauled that cross. And don't you black people ever forget one thing. The man that helped Jesus carry that cross was a black man.
I want to point that out, just for edification. We are not black, we're more or less different shades of brown. We are not black people. We're the chosen people of YAHAWAHSHI, Yasharala, which is the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and that's just a byword that was placed upon our people that was by Yahweh through the curses. We was going to become bywords, black, African American, so forth, and Negro, so forth and so on, was a curse of a byword that was placed upon our people. But I'm going to let it continue on playing.
And don't ever forget another thing. Jesus belongs to Africa.
Yeah, that's another point too. YAHAWAHSHI doesn't belong to Africa. I want to bring out the scripture. What's the motherland? People, our people think Africa is the motherland, but it's not. According to scripture, we're going to find out what the motherland is. It's in Galatians 4, chapter 26, and it reads, "But Jerusalem, which is above and free, which is the mother of us all." So our motherland, Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, our motherland is Jerusalem, which is stated in Galatians 4, Galatians chapter 4, verse 26. So that's a strike right there. I'm going to let it continue playing.
As much as he does to Europe and Asia. He was born in that part of the world that touches Africa and Asia and Europe, and Jesus was not a white man like me. nor was he as black as some of you.
Well, I'm going to get this according to the scriptures in Revelations chapter 1. Revelations chapter 1, with the scriptures of the Messiah, the scriptures of YAHAWAHSHI Mashiach. According to the word, I'm going to read at the top, Revelations 1, chapter 1. It's like Revelation 1, verse 1. The revelation of YAHAWAHSHI Mashiach. Revelation means revealing, which Yahweh gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bare witness, who bare record of the word of Yahweh, and of the testimony of YAHAWAHSHI Mashiach, and of all things that he saw. And I'm going to jump down to verse 10, and it reads, I was in the spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet. Verse 11 saying, I am the Alpha and Omega, the first and last, and what thou seest, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, and to Ephesus, and to Smyrna, and to Pergamos, and to Thyatira, and to Sardis, and to Philadelphia, and to Laodicea. And I turned to see the voice that spake unto me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. In the midst of the 7 in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girded and girth about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were, which is the point, in verses 14 and 15, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace, and his voice as a sound of as many trumpets. It's like in his voice as the sound of many waters. See, it says his feet were like unto fine brass. Brass is a brownish color, a brownish color, and it's as if they burn in a furnace. So if you through the a place to burn this brass, and the furnace is gonna get very dark, real dark brown. So the Messiah was of a real dark complexion. So he's wrong about that too, you know. He says,
Nor was he as black as some of you.
So that's a lie, you know. The Messiah, YAHAWAHSHI, was a very dark-skinned man.
We don't know what the color of his skin, but it must have been a dark color like the people of his day.
You see, he said he's not. He said he must have been a dark color. Well, he was a dark color. He said he's not as dark as you, but he was a very dark man, and he admitted there that he was a dark complexion. I'm gonna wind it back a little bit.
Nor was he as black as some of you. We don't know what the color of his skin, but it must have been a dark color like the people of his day, because he was a man like them.
Well, I just read the description of YAHAWAHSHI in Revelations chapter 1, you know, so that gives it, we know his appearance of his complexion. He was a dark-skinned man.
Don't ever say it's a white man's religion or a black man's religion. It's a world religion.
Well, that's another lie too. He says it's a world religion. Well, it is a world religion, but not according to what they think it is. Like the world and this like anybody can it's anybody who believes in the word or accept YAHAWAHSHI or what they call or accept who they so-called Jesus is. I'm gonna get John 3:16 that a lot of people like to go to, and I'm gonna read that. John 3:16. John 3:16. John 3:16. It reads, "For God." So I'm gonna read it verbatim. "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life." It says God. So that the point was For God so loved the world, He gave His only begotten Son. And I'm gonna read verse 17 too, and it says, "For God sent not His Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through Him might be saved." So we're gonna find out what world He's talking about. We're gonna go in Isaiah 45 and 17, and it reads, "But Israel shall be saved in the Lord, which with an everlasting salvation ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end." So that's that world that's talked about in John 3:16 and 17. Is the world of Israel. Like for instance, or for example, you got the wide world of sports. You got the world of NASCAR. You got the world of basketball. You know, you got the world of boxing. Even though it's a wide world of sports, but you also got the world of boxing. You got the world of basketball. You got the world of baseball, world of soccer, and so forth and so on. It's its own world. Even though it's categorized as the wide world, it's a wide world of sports. But there's different worlds within that sport. Like just there's different worlds within the realm of human beings. Like Israel, we our own world, just like all these other nations is their own world. And I went into that. I went into that also in the previous lesson. And I think I'm gonna get the blue letter. I'm gonna see what it says for world. In the blue letter, get a definition of world. It's called cosmos.
Strong's G 2889. Cosmos. Cosmos.
Cosmos. And it's the first definition, an apt or harmonious arrangement or constitution, order or government. You know, so we are governed under YAHAWAHSHI. Let me see what else we have here. It says number 5, and it says, "And inhabitants, the inhabitants of the earth, men, the human family." So it says inhabitants of the earth, but nah, that's not what I want. But the human family. Oh no, Salaki, that's not what I want. Well, yeah, basically the first definition was all I want. But, that world is Israel. You know, it's an arrangement or order or government. So we govern under the laws and statutes of YAHAWAHSHI YAHAWAHSHI. That's our government. You know, the commandments, the law, statutes, and commandments of YAHAWAHSHI YAHAWAHSHI. You know, and Isaiah 45 and 17 clearly tells you what that world is. You know, that world we came. And also, Yahweh said itself, I come not but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Yahweh said it himself. In Matthew 15:24, and it reads, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know, that's Yahweh saying itself. That's red letter. That's why he stated that himself. You know, he's only sent. See, you know, in this other translation, then Yahweh said to the woman, I was sent only to help God's people, God's lost people. It's like I was sent only to help God's lost sheep, the people of Israel. You know, he only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Yahweh said it himself, or who people call Jesus. And you know, I just wanna make that clarification when I seen this video, you know, because you know they know the Edomites know that the Messiah, you know, that he's not so-called white, you know, he's not an Edomite, you know, they know he's not white, you know, it's evidence, there's a lot of evidence out there. They just people are in denial and want to hold on to that white supremacy, you know, Edomite supremacy, basically. But I hope the body of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi was edified through this video. I'm called Holayim La, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi, Ba'Shem Rakakadash, and Shalom, the elect of Yasharala, and YAHAWAH.